Hi, and welcome to week 7. In week 7, you're going to put together that final part of your primary research analysis. I put the example up here again, but ultimately, what you want to do is, and I don't know if this is it populated quickly. That's great. I want you to add your analysis. So you're going to kind of look at that data that you collected from your survey. You're going to add your results, which now interpret. So the data analysis is just the raw numbers, and then now you're going to explain what those mean, your limitations, anything that kind of held back the most accurate collection of data, and your discussion where you're going to combine your findings with the research, done by the work that you did in your 2 annotated bibs and put together for that literature review. So that is what you'll be working on for the primary research analysis. So it's that second part. Then I'm going to have you do a reverse outline, but I want you to kind of follow along. Let's look at the sample project number 2 that we looked at earlier this semester, where you had the information about the conventional organic and genetically modified farming. And I want you to get right before the conclusion of that particular essay. Go ahead and kind of get your cursor there. And then I want you to take all of the primary research that you've written up. There's an appendix here too, so we're going to come back to that in a second, but get the written part of that primary research, copy it, get right before the conclusion of your project number 2, and paste it. And obviously I've got some spacing issues, but we can work with that. Now, what you've got, if you look back over your combined project here, is you've got the beginning, your intro. You've got your sections that include, in this case, the different kinds of farming for produce. And then you get into the methods portion. You'll have the participants, the instrumentation. You don't want anything like a title of a section kind of hanging there without the content. So always keep those together. You'll have your results, your limitations, your discussion, and now you've got the conclusion of your paper. You've got your works cited page, and in MLA, your appendix will come before the works cited page. So I'm going to try to do this all at one copy, but you want to get that. So you're going to create another page here, and you'll paste in your appendix A. Like I said, I'm going to try to see that I got all of it. Yep, it was a 2-page appendix. Okay, so now this is what you're going to work with for the reverse outline. But there's a few things that I kind of want to go over as you move in through this process. One is the headings. I looked at 2 different ways of setting up these headings. So there's some inconsistency here in regards to the way that your title would be, and then following through with these subheadings, level 2 headings in the literature review, and then in the methods portion. So my suggestion is to go back and make these consistent. Let's just change these to Times New Roman. And one font size bigger, because these are your subheadings. So we'll go with Times New Roman, no caps, so just title case. There we go. And we're going to bold it and make it 14. So that should be easy to do throughout. But, like I said, go back and do that for these other 2. Most of you had 3 headings. Like I said, Owl Purdue showed one way, but when I was working on your primary research analyses, I went to the MLA Style, their actual website, and that showed me how to put together your your methods portion. So let's just stay consistent. Again, all you're going to do is change these to Times New Roman normal casing, so capital first letters, no all caps, and 14 font, because the rest of your paper is 12. Leave your title, the way that it is up at the top of the page, bold, and now you've got your methods in there. You've pasted that in. All right, you've got your conclusion, and then you've got your appendix and your works cited page. All of these should be consistent from what you've done so far. So you've merged these two documents to create one IMRAD style paper. You've got both your primary and secondary research organized together. So that is what I want you to outline. I want you to go through, and then once you've merged these two documents, and I encourage you highly, as it says in the directions, save this new merged document as project number 3. You don't want it to be confused with the other documents you've saved this semester. But you're going to just simply go through, number all of the paragraphs in your entire paper, and then just type out a sentence or even a phrase that captures the main idea of each of those, because what you're going to submit to me is just this outline, and I'm going to be able to say, yep, it seems like this is in a really good order, or, well, I think after looking at it that 2 and 3 should be flip-flop based on what you found in your primary research. Now, as you go through this, though, one thing that I want you to think about is, does your introduction need to be expanded a little bit more to cover the scope of both pieces of research, primary and secondary? Similarly, does your conclusion need that? Where might your counterargument be best positioned, before the primary research or after? And do you need a transition into the methods portion? Or, I don't want it to be abrupt where you finish talking about what the experts in the field say and then move into your own primary research. So these are things that I want you to think about now that you've merged these two documents. And like I said, as you're making those determinations, you're going to outline and then double check that the order makes sense too. All right, so you're going to submit that final part of the primary research. You're going to submit the outline. Now, the primary research, it says it right at the top. It's due on Thursday, so that gives you enough time to do that outline assignment. So this is different this week. You won't be turning everything in on Sunday like you usually have. The outline is due on Sunday, and the final test is due on Sunday. If you look at the study guide, it merges everything that we've covered over the course of the semester from our book. So you're going to have 15 matching items. You're going to have 10 short answer questions and 1 essay question. You've got a couple more definitions that you're going to want to know, but all of this really repeats what we've done over the course of the semester. So it's taken right from your 2 study guides, Study Guide 1 and Study Guide 2. So very similar setup to the previous tests. The test number 3 was completely different, but let's say it's set up mostly like the first test, where you've got a matching section, a short answer section, and then an essay question. Definitely, though, if you have questions as you're going through the preparation for this week and getting ready to submit things, let me know. But please, as I said, stay apprised of the little bit of a difference in dates. And beyond that, have a great week.